ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं यो अन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्यखिलशक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। समचरणसरोजं सान्द्रनीलाम्बुदाभं जघननिहितपाणिं मण्डनं मण्डनानां तरुणतुलसीमालां कन्धरं कञ्जनेत्रं सदयधवलहासं विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि। विठ्ठलं चिन्तयामि। Pranams to the Lord. Pranams to all the Mahatmas in tonight's Eknathi Bhagawat session. We are in chapter 7. We have seen up to OV 579. We'll begin from verse 60. तासां पत्रैः सुस्पर्शैः पूजितैर्मुग्धचेष्टितैः प्रत्युद्गमैरदीनानां पितरौ मुदपापतुः.
Meaning of the verse: being moved to ecstasy by their smooth touching feathers, sweet to hear their notes, sweet to look at their playful movements, the parents were very joyful. 580. The parents were very happy by the sweet notes of the young ones, by the soft touch of their small wings, and by their tender embrace. 581. The parents used to sit together when the young ones scurried along in front of them, putting beak into each other's beak and danced weirdly. 582. Then hugging them lovingly, the parents used to fly some distance and coming back hurriedly used to embrace the young ones. 583. The little ones were not at all insecure when they were under the protective wings of the parents, and the parent birds also thought themselves to be blessed because they had such offsprings. 584. As the thoughts were very cute, the parents took every care joyfully regarding their needs and fancies. Their eyes were happy to look at the young ones. The parents and the tiny young ones had great mutual affection. 585. When the tiny birds trotted and tried to spread their feeble wings to fly, parents used to chirp and coo with joy and embrace them again and again.
स्नेहानुबद्धहृदयौ अन्योन्यं विष्णुमायया विमोहितौ दीनधियौ शिशून् पुपुषतुः. Shishun Pupushatuhu. There is
Meaning,
something missing over there. The pada is not complete. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, two words are missing. Shishun Pupushatu. Something has to come over there. In everybody's book, it's only like that. Okay, the pada is not completed then. Okay, fair enough. Please continue.
meaning of the verse: being bound mentally together by extreme affection and influenced by the spiritual power of the Lord Vishnu, the couple was very anxious about their offsprings and looked after their nurture with great care. 586. O king, the Maya of the god without birth is herself unborn. See how the couple was under her influence. The couple was very eager to nurture their young ones because they were deep love between them. There was deep love between them. 587. The affection of the husband for his wife and the parents for their children is very difficult to avoid. In order to feed the young ones, the couple took many troubles. wandering in the forest to find some garb for them.
एकदा जग्मतुस्तासाम् अन्नाथौ तौ कुटुम्बिनौ परितः कानने तस्मिन् अर्थिनौ चेरतुश्चिरम्.
Meaning of the verse: once the couple roamed about in the forest for bringing some food for their young ones and was very late. 588. Gradually, the tiny young ones grew and their hunger also grew. The couple became worried how to give them enough food. 589. The male and female pigeons went into the forest for finding grains, etc., and bringing the food back to the nest. 590. It so happened that there was not enough food available at one place, so they roamed about, flying through the forest, but they did not get enough grains, etc. 591. They thought, we will somehow get enough feed and give it to our children and properly rear them up. 592. With this thought, they undertook flight to remote place also in fields, gardens, and the jungle.
दृष्ट्वा तान् लुब्धकः कश्चित् यदृच्छातो वनेचरः जगृहे जालमातत्य चरतस्वालयान्तिके.
Meaning of the verse: seeing the young ones, a hunter who walked in the forest came near them and threw a net on them, which were loitering near their nest. 593. The parents were far away. The young ones were very hungry. They ventured out of the nest. 594. A hunter came in that area at that time and he saw the small birds playing on the ground near their nest. He threw his net in which those young ones were caught. The hunter patiently waited the arrival of the parent birds.
कपोतश्च कपोती च प्रजापोषे सदोत्सुकौ गतौ पोषणमादाय स्वनीडमुपजग्मतुः.
Meaning of the verse: with tremendous love for their children, the male and the female pigeons came hurriedly with some grains in their beak to their nest. 596. The parents in due time came hurriedly to their nest with some food in their beaks for their young ones. 597. Avaduta said, the attachment to the wife is so dangerous that it creates further complications of the family and worries about maintenance of the household. 598. The woman is the main source of suffering to a man because through her children and grandchildren there is lot of trouble.
कपोति स्वात्मजान् वीक्ष्य बालकान् जालसंवृतान् तानभ्यधावत् क्रोशन्ति क्रोशतो भृशदुःखिता.
Meaning of the verse: when the mother bird saw the young ones caught in the net, she jumped towards them in the agony of sorrow. 599. The mother bird saw that her young ones are caught in the net and are helpless. She began to cry out due to sudden rude shock of sorrow and cried profusely, throwing herself on the ground. 600. She began to cry and call the young ones, herself being helpless and unable to do anything. Again and again, she went near the net and lamented about the unforeseen disaster.
सा सकृत् स्नेहगुणिता दीनचित्ता जमायया स्वयं चाबध्यतशिचा बद्धान् पश्यन्त्यपस्मृतिः.
Meaning of the verse: she became very depressed and being a slave to the extreme attachment due to the Maya of the Almighty, she jumped into the net to be near her young ones. 601. Seeing that her young ones have died in the net, her sorrow and attachment became 100 times severe. She cried in agony, which resulted in a heavy load of sorrow on her spouse. 602. She became crazy due to the pain of parting. She remembered how they used to give the parents tender love and again cried. She became blind and not caring at all about her own life fell in the net. 603. See how she was deluded due to the attachment and affection. She was actually seeing her offsprings caught in the net, but blinded by the sorrow, she dared to risk her own life and jumped. See the tragedy brought about by Maya.
कपोतश्चात्मजान् बद्धान् आत्मनोऽप्यधिकान् प्रियान् भार्यान् चात्मसमान् दीनान् विललापाति दुःखितः.
Meaning of the verse, the male bird was also very sorry to see his offsprings caught in the net, which caused his wife also to fall in the net, and he began to cry due to tremendous loss. 604. Being estranged from his spouse and children, the male pigeon put his beak down and began to cry. 605. He saw his offsprings who were dearer to him than his wife dead in the net, and saw his wife, which was beautiful and dear to him, also fallen in the net and cried profusely.
अहो मे पश्यतापायम् अल्पपुण्यस्य दुर्मतेः अतृप्तस्य कृतार्थस्य गृहस्त्रैवर्गिको हतः.
Meaning of the verse, the male bird cried, "Oh, see my disaster, a stupid and meritless, uh, meritless father that I am. I am not happy. I am not satisfied. I have not fulfilled my life, and alas, my home, my wife, and children are dead, destroying the dharma, artha, and kama." 606. He said to himself, the householder's life is the means of fulfilling the religious, monetary, and emotional aspirations of the living being. That life has ended, and I became nobody while my desires are not fulfilled. 607. By some strange turn of events, my past karma has become a whirlpool, and I have become destitute before doing any meritorious deeds, and the religious, monetary, and emotional aspirations are destroyed. 608. The triple achievements are unfulfilled, but the fourth achievement of liberation is still possible. I shall somehow get it before it is too late. Why should I worry about destruction of my family life? 609. By when I am not free of my desires, how can I achieve liberation? See how foolish I am. 610. I had very small merit, and therefore death has grabbed my home, and I am now a widower. A The door to the other world is also closed. I will not be able to reach heaven. 611. But is it possible to reach heaven only because of having a family life? No. As far as I am concerned, I have a chance to go to heaven.
अनुरूपानुकूला च यस्य मे पतिदेवता शून्ये गृहे मां सन्त्यज्य पुत्रैश्वर्याति साधुभिः.
Meaning of the verse, my wife was matching in beauty to me. She was always docile, and she was really faithful to me and respected me as a god. She has left me in the empty home, and she is going to heaven in the company of saints. 612. Heaven can be reached only if the husband and wife really love each other, and if both of them are having faith in religion. Otherwise it is not possible to go to heaven world. 613. There are some wives who are very talkative and they are rude. Some are wild in nature and wander in the town. Some are crooks and devilish. Some are having clandestine affairs. 614. Some woman is having murderous rage. Some are greedy of food. Some stand before the mirror and clean their teeth often. 615. Some are filthy and lazy. Some practice black magic. Some are delicate and addicted to enjoy unscrupulously. Some are proud of their beauty and naughty. 616. My wife is not like them. She was always agreeable to me. She was a real faithful wife and obedient to me. 617. When I wanted to do some good deeds, she joined me, helped me, and when I had desire for her, she fulfilled my desire lovingly and cleverly. 618. She did not worship any other gods and deities except me, nor visited any sacred place. She never disobeyed me. Thus, 619. Thus, she was wise, beautiful, amicable, virtuous, and faithful. 620. Oh, such a devoted wife has left me alone in this empty nest and is going to heaven with our children.
सोऽहं शून्ये गृहे दीनः मृतदारो मृतप्रजाः जिजीविषे किमर्थं वा विधुरो दुःखजीवितः.
Meaning of the verse: thus I am alone in this deserted nest, and my wife and children dead. For what purpose should I live further, widower and sorrowful as I am? 6 to 1. My wife is gone, my offsprings are gone. Why should I feel very ashamed when others will laugh at me? I will feel better to be dead than to hear their bitter remarks. 622. I am suffering so much. How can I honorably meet other birds? They will call me a pitiable one, as I have lost all the happiness of the family life. 623. Cursed in this life of a widower. It is worth all the blame and it is shameful. Nobody will call me to dinner on any occasion. 624. I shall have to live alone in this nest. I will never have to eat anything sweet and I will be further miserable.
तांस्तथैवावृतान् शिग्भिः मृत्युग्रस्तान् विचेष्टतः स्वयं च कृपणः शिक्षो पश्यन्नप्यबुधोपतत्.
Meaning of the verse: seeing them seeing them thus caught in the hunter's net and dead, he also became full of self pity, jumped into the same net, though he was actually seeing his family dead in that net, but not being wise enough to save himself. 6 to 5. What did the male pigeon do after lamenting like this? He saw his wife and children completely lifeless in the deadly net. 6 to 6. Even then, he was not wise enough and jumped in the same net. 6 to 7. We see that in this world, everybody who dies is followed eventually in his way to death, but nobody tries to escape the chain of birth and death and attain liberation. 6 to 8. See, persons even die for women and children, but nobody thinks of attaining rest at the feet of the God. Their minds never see this at all.
तल्लब्ध्वा लुब्धकः क्रूरः कपोतं गृहमेधिनं कपोतकान् कपोतीं च सिद्धार्थः प्रययौ गृहम्.
Meaning of the words: the cruel hunter caught the male and female pigeons together with their young ones, and thus, having been successful, went to his own home, taking with him the dead birds. 6 to 9. The foolish pigeon also fell in the net, and the hunter had his wish fulfilled. He put the collected net and the dead birds on his shoulder and went home. 630. Whoever is a family man like that pigeon is attacked by time as death, and he is as foolish as that Poor pigeon. 631. He saw that his wife died because of her bondage with her children, and he also jumped into the net. 632. Thus, the male pigeon, being entangled in the attachment of his family, met his death because he did not think sanely even for a moment.
एवं कुटुम्ब्य शान्तात्मा द्वन्द्वारामः पतत् द्वन्द्वारामः पतत्रिवत् पुष्णन् कुटुम्बं कृपणः सानुबन्धो वसीदति.
Meaning of the verse: thus, a man caught in the attachment of his wife and children, who believes in the dualities, becomes disturbed, feeds his family by taking lot of pains, miserably dies together with his dependents. 633. Thus, a family man entangled in the work of supporting his dependents and having desire of sensual pleasures is destroyed together with the inmates. 634. The home and the family life of the householder is nothing but a resort of pleasure based on duality. It deludes just as the pigeon was deluded. Therefore, one should not waste his life in this way.
यः प्राप्य मानुषं लोकं मुक्तिद्वारमपावृतं गृहेषु खगवत्सक्तः तमारूढच्युतं विदुः.
Meaning of the verse: he who having this human life with the door to freedom opens becomes attached to the household, just like the said pigeons is called a man fallen through properly established. 635. One who is born on the face of this earth, which is the world of action, and is further fortunate to belong to the higher class. 636. When a man is thus born in human race, the door to liberation is open for him. It is possible that he may be free in one day, 1 hour, or even a moment. 637. This is true for persons of other caste over and above. If a man is born as Brahmin, the Brahmin is by virtue of his birth naturally pious and destined to be free. But by ignorance, they unfortunately become captive of their passion and attachment. 638. It is a rare thing that a man is learned and also desireless. Even the gods like Brahma do not have that freedom from desire. Alas, they unfortunately become attached to carnal desires and hunger for rich food and are lost. 69. One who is born in the human race but still becomes attached to his home and family is called fallen though properly established, or is called a stupid scholar. He forsakes his own higher life and true welfare and becomes miserable like that pigeon. 640. The Vedas and Puranas have declared that a man is never completely satisfied with the enjoyment of objects, though this is thus universally known that they keep up their entanglement in the pleasurable objects and in vain lose the great opportunity given to them in the human body. 641. The human body is really a great thing itself. Even if the name of Rama is repeated constantly, all the four levels of freedom come to serve the man. Though this fact is well known, they foolishly become engaged in objects and waste this body. 642. Nobody is ever fully satisfied by enjoying the sense objects. How can thirsty person quench their thirst by the false water of mirage? 643. So, why should the intelligent people, having luckily got the gift of human life, become mad to get the pleasures of senses and sweat for them? 644. The treasure of human body is received so easily. So, O king, drop all your pride. Then only you will have contentment. 645. It is not certain that one may again be born in human life. It is therefore advised that one must drop one's attraction to sense objects and worship Sri Hari with true devotion. 646. This spiritual means is the easiest way towards God realization in the age of Kali. There is no necessity to follow yoga, sacrificial ceremony, renunciation, and giving anything as charity. When you sing songs in the praise of the God by leaving all types of social inhibitions, you will find that all the four kinds of liberty are your maid servants. 647. Why should one feel it a loss if by giving a brick one gets a magic stone, Paras? The God meets you in person by your songs of praise in the Kirtana. You should be confident about this. 648. Eknath, the disciple of Janardana, says that the Guru Janardana himself had given his stamp of authority that by the human body, which is undoubtedly impermanent, God is evident in this visible world. 649. Eka surrendered himself to Janardana when he, Janardana, became Eka by his unity. Just as gold and the bangles are one, though names are different. 650. The advice which Sri Krishna gave to Uddhava and which Avaduta gave to the king Yadu is the same advice which Janardana as Eknath is giving to the esteemed listeners. Here ends the Marathi commentary written by Saint Eknath on the seventh chapter of the 11th skanda of Sri Bhagavata Purana.
Hari Om. Thank you, Venkateshi. Let's hear your thoughts, what you felt while reading. Please comment.
I think there was, I think the pigeons to pigeon. I think I want to be very. This is the first time I'm listening to this pigeon story and how Sant Eknath has been able to bring out this particular fact, which is also there in the human life, and how Eknath ji has been telling that um, that the human life is the best one where if you are able to manifest divinity, how you can just by uttering the name of this one you can get all the purusharthas. Those are some of the key points, and how I mean so beautifully about the kirtana, lot of good similes, how God meets you in person by your songs of praise in kirtana. You must be confident about it. Those are very very, so with kirtana and with nam jap and all, how it is. And I think this example of the pigeon, the birds came out of the this one, fell on the nets, and then the wife lamenting, and she falling, and then the male pigeon also giving all the reasons why. I mean, some at one point of time, I could relate this to the first chapter of Gita. The despondency has been clearly coming out, and also giving reasons that why he should not be in this particular world. Those are some of the delusionary statements, and but how we can rise from it, I think Eknath ji has given a very beautiful way. So this is what I had to just sum up in these points, Varsha ji.
Very beautiful. Good. Anybody has any other points to add or say or express any thoughts? I just love that 638 where it says, it is a rare thing that a man is learned and also desireless. This combination is not going to happen. So while hearing a pigeon story, we might find it foolish, but actually in our life we are doing like that. We are falling
Yes.
into the attachments very nicely, very conveniently. So that statement, the man can be learned and desireless. It's not going to happen. So I felt that statement was too good. And fallen though properly established. So that phrase also or is called a stupid scholar. That 639. So this something is, and that 645 was an eye opener. It is not certain that one may again be born in the human body. There is no certainty about that. Beautiful. So beautiful. I have underlined few things. That 630 also I underlined. Whoever is a family man like that pigeon is attacked by time as death and is foolish as that poor pigeon. Being entangled, 632, being entangled in attachment of his family, did not think sanely even for a moment. So family attachments. I see in my house also over here in Kerala house, there's so much family attached. I see that. That's whatever wrong is also it's okay. So I see that. And whatever is this pigeon story, it may appear foolish, but in and around me, what I see, like my parents were so strict with, it's like, no, this. But over here, parents are not strict. So I see. And it's a child. It's a child. The child is 30-year-old, 40-year-old, 50-year-old is also a child. I say it over here in literal sense. One small fever, there will be 100 phone calls. You have to go and see a person, Back in over there, how I have been brought, we don't. You have fever, okay, you rest. There's no need to make a big thing about it. Or that's not called care. You're actually disturbing a person when the person is sick, and then you go and keep visiting, and then the poor caretaker of that patient has to take care of you also as a visitor, or but it is an offense. I see so many shades. This pigeon story is not appearing foolish. There is so much into it, and which we act into it. It seems like a very ordinary some story, but there's so much depth into it. One has to see it around, and one will easily see any more thoughts to comment. Today we've gone a little longer because I thought we'll complete the chapter and then next week we just start with chapter 8. Vinisha, you are trying to say something.
Yeah, what is the Sanskrit word for pigeon?
Kapota. Kapota and Kapoti. Mr. and Mrs. Pigeon. Kapota and Kapoti.
Yeah, I
So,
think I can't find that shloka, but I think the one where he says you can be liberated this moment, this at birth. That's it's just that instant choice, and you can actually be liberated. And you often do meet right little children, and so they say the old souls and wise souls and so on. You meet so many people who are just naturally liberated, more detached.
yes. So you are searching for a Kapota word anywhere? I can show you in few verses if you want to.
I found it. I was
You
trying
found
to.
it? Yeah. So you will see Kapot
64.
also and Kapoti also, both Mr. and Mrs. Kapoti. In 65, the verse starts with Kapoti. You'll see that. And in 67, it starts with Kapota. Okay, Sajiv ji, Lata ji, Nikhila ji, any thoughts to share?
Like that verse 642, Pashaji. Nobody is ever fully satisfied by enjoying the sense objects.
Yes. Yeah, I have marked that as well. Yes.
I think
That is,
all our
that is
scriptures are only telling us the same, like, attachment. You are not the body, you don't give, like in Viveka Chudamani also today I was listening to the audio that Ushaji had sent, the same thing. And but the thing is, it's quite hard to drop the attachment. That's the problem.
That's why they're saying the same thing in different ways.
Different ways. It is like a net which catches you and you're stuck inside that. So, I mean, the way the pigeon is, they're all caught by the hunter, but actually that hunter is probably Maya. We are all caught into that net. So it is directly alluding to that. It has to
Easy
be.
to drop.
Sorry, go
Yes,
ahead.
sorry. No, please, Vanisha, say.
That shloka, I mean, the 642 which Nikhila brought up was again like the verse 2 no, of chapter 15 of the Gita, where he says you'll be just going from one branch to the other of the tree. And you're just going to move from one desire to another. Today you like this, tomorrow you like that, and you're never still not satisfied. You're just constantly just hopping branches, right?
One desire satisfied, 10 will rise up. And you run behind satisfying desires. Okay, so we start afresh on Monday. Who wants to take it on Monday?
Can I, Varshaji?
Okay, Nikhilji on Monday.
I can do on Tuesday, Varshaji.
Yes, okay. Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday can take, yeah.
Okay, Vinisha, you want to take Thursday?
I'll take it. The only thing is there has to be one caveat because I'm heavily in the midst of transition between India and Singapore. And the moment the work here finishes, I have to leave. So that's just one caveat in case I have to suddenly travel one week.
Okay. If you travel, then I'll take your turn on Thursday. Otherwise, you are doing on Thursday. Okay, so we are settled for next week. Over to you, Venkateshi. You can.
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति 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 हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु.
Hari Om, everyone. Thank you for joining. And we meet you next week.
Hari Om.
Venkateshi, I just,
हरि ओम्.
it reminded me something, so I'll just correct that part. It is not traditional to chant Purnat like that they do, and many, not just you, everywhere, which has started as a wrong practice. But on the notations, Purnat, Purnamudachyate, it is like that. But who
Okay.
started it and how it caught, and all the people, not over here, not only in Singapore or India, everywhere world over, they do Purna, Purna, like that, they go higher with it. But when we follow the Mantra Pushpam, our notation books, then so in that there is no notation. So it is flat. So Purnat, Purnamudachyate, and it's not Purnat. It's not like that. I felt I should mention that, and it's the most common error done even by Mahatmas and Sannyasis also. They would teach it as well, but we hear it like that. So it's a most common error of a mantra getting mispronounced or misnotation for mantra, I would say.
Varsha, say it once today again, the correct one. Just for us once today again.
Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate. So instead of Purnat Purnamud, it's not there. Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
you,
you.
Varshaji.
Hari Om.
Thank you for
See
the correction.
all. Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you.